The Year the Porch Light Stayed On, a Halloween story about love, change, and the things we hold on to. Every year, without fail, the Andersons' house on Birchwood Drive had been the place to go on Halloween. Pumpkins lined the walkway like glowing breadcrumbs, the porch smelled of cinnamon and caramel, and old Mr. Anderson, everyone called him Hank, would dress up as a friendly scarecrow, handing out king-size candy bars with a grin that made you forget how cold October could be. For 35 years, Hank and his wife Margaret had done it together. She'd bake pumpkin bread, hum old songs from the radio, and remind him to smile for the kids because you're their favorite stop, Hank. Don't you forget it. But this year was different. Margaret had passed away that spring, and when October rolled around, the house felt too quiet, too big, too lonely. The pumpkin stayed in the garage. The porch light, the one that had always burned bright every Halloween, stayed off. Neighbors noticed. Kids whispered about how Mr. Anderson must have moved away. Some even said the house looked haunted now. Though it wasn't ghosts that haunted it, it was silence. But on Halloween night, just as the sun began to sink behind the oaks, Hank sat in his chair, watching the street fill with laughter, witches, astronauts, superheroes, little vampires running from house to house, and something inside him ached. He thought of how Margaret used to laugh when kids tried to scare her, how she'd sneak candy to the toddlers who were too shy to knock. He could almost hear her voice saying, "Go on, Hank. It's Halloween. Don't let our porch go dark." So slowly, Hank stood up. His knees complained, but he didn't care. He walked to the garage, pulled out one dusty box labeled Halloween, and opened it. Inside were the old decorations, the faded scarecrow hat, the string lights, the big orange bowl with little ghosts painted on it. He plugged in the lights, and for the first time in months, color returned to the house. He didn't have much candy this year, just a few leftover chocolate bars and a bag of caramels, but he filled the bowl anyway and sat out on the porch light shining once again. The first trick-or-treaters stopped hesitantly, whispering, "Hey, the Andersons' house is open again." And when they saw Hank, that same smile, that same twinkle, just a little slower now, they cheered. "Mr. Anderson, you're back." He laughed softly. "Never left, just took a little break." As the night went on, the porch filled with voices, laughter, and tiny footsteps. Some kids were the children of those who'd once come here themselves. Parents waved from the sidewalk, smiling with something close to nostalgia. One little girl, dressed as a sunflower, climbed the steps and asked, "Where's the lady who used to give out the cookies?" Hank felt his chest tighten, but he smiled. "She's watching from somewhere even better, and I think she's pretty proud of how you look tonight." The girl beamed, took her candy, and ran off. Hours passed. The candy ran out, but Hank stayed there, under the warm glow of the porch light, watching the last few kids make their way home. He thought about all the years that had gone by, the laughter, the mess, the joy, the small, ordinary moments that had made his life full. And for the first time since Margaret's passing, the silence didn't feel empty. It felt peaceful. When he finally went inside, he left the porch light on. Not just for the trick-or-treaters who might pass by, but for her, and for every memory they'd built together, glowing softly in the night. Because sometimes, love isn't about holding on. It's about keeping the light burning, even when the house feels empty. And that Halloween night, at the very end of Birchwood Drive, one little porch light stayed on, quietly, bravely, like love refusing to fade.